So here it comes, another video. I'm starting off in the blind. What I'm going to show you first, okay, is an image from Facebook that somebody showed me. They said this image was removed from the internet. I'm going to take off the camera. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you the image. It's this image here. Notice this image has been found in violation of H&R, Heaven Angels, HAR. This is the rabbit. This might stand for the rabbit because of H&R, Heaven's Angel Resident, the hare. Electronic, Heaven Angel Resident, H-A-R-E, hare, or take away the H and put A-R-E as R, which is you and me. Or you can turn the H to I. You can have I-R-N-A, which is the I birth of the angel resident angel. I birth angel resident angel. Why is he 2? Because he's going over here and not over here. Man lives to the right. Let me get this down. Okay, now that you may have seen that, I'm going to get back to my page. Man lives to the right. Okay, you look at it, the 6 is on the right. Does that mean man goes to the right? Well, you see, if the earth is turning this way, then the sun is going this way. Here are some of the things that sign can say. If that sign was bent over, it's a connection of a 1010. If that image of do not enter is really true, it's because it's all the 1010. And do not enter, the reason what it means is on the one side and on the other side, you are in the middle. This is a sign that says do not enter, in between. Do not enter. So that's so much for this sign. So that sign will say 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. 2 and 8, 4 and 6. This is the Christ cross. Okay, if we are in the Christ cross, when Jesus was on the cross, it was right about here that he was in the center of the cross. That tells us number 5. Okay, Mercury of Jupiter, I love. Why does Mercury and Jupiter say I love? Because the J and the M, if you say them together, it says j'aime. J, M. You can say j'aime. It's a J and it's a J in French. J'aime. It means to love. So everything God does, it seems he's always got something there. Now I'm going to work on something next. Okay, let's try and see if we can use these as fingers. This is the hand. This is the palm of the hand. Okay, like the palm of the hand. See that straight line across? I got the same thing. This is out of a book. You see the hand? It's a little dirty, but if you bend it, only that crease bends. Nothing else bends in my hand but that crease. My skin does not get wrinkled by anything. That is just a crease. So this is the hand. This is the left hand, and this is the right hand. This is the right hand. The thumb is first. The thumb is 5th. 1 and 5, and I told you man is the one spirit of the angle of the 5. And the 5 is the God of 5. Okay, he's the God of 5, of 9. When you say 59 or 95, 5 has a 42 letter count. 9 has a 42 letter count. Okay, God is Alpha Omega from 1 to 9, but he plays out of the 5 hole. Okay, when he goes into the 5 hole, God plays all the other 8 around him. God is one of the 8 heaven around him, plus himself is 9. When he goes in to create the beta spirit, okay, he ends up making an angel for 1, a man for 1, and the 2 beta system, plus the 2 that goes for the man in the beta system. So that makes man 5, plus the 1 the angel gets is 6, plus the 1 spirit he gets is 7, plus the 2 spirits that come from beta is 9. That's who he gets is 9. Whatever the man gets, the angel gets. 1 is getting plus, 1 is getting minus. Don't forget, we only have 10 to work with. If you don't count the 0, we're only working with 9. How do we create these other things? By just 1, 2, 3. We flip it onto the back side. It's 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down. Okay, putting the 5 in the center, or the letter E, 1, 2, 3 E, 1, 2, 3 E, we automatically get the letter I. We turn it sideways and go 1, 2, 3, 5, and then go 1, 2, 3 on the bottom, we get the H. Now, if we do it in extended for the 10-10 formation, we get 1 and 9, 3 and 7. And in between, we 2, 5, and 8. So we go 1, 2, 3, dot the 5. So it keeps showing up that we are where Jupiter is. Now, maybe our heart is Jupiter, because the way I understand this, if God is taking, he's going out of position number 7, okay, Uranus, because number 7 means God in general, okay, none of these stations are working, because in general, 7 means God. But when Beta comes in, okay, she gets the 5 and 2 position. When she associates herself with 5 and 2, it makes 7. There is no 7 other than 1 and 6. So what happens when 5 meets 2? It creates 7, which means 6 and 1. So she's in the 1 spirit spot where God is right now, and it's the 2 spot of her and the 5 spot of God, which creates the 1 spirit of God. And that would be in the 7 card, and it'd be twice in the 8 card. That would why it would sort of be Beta. When you say number 27, I'm so stuck on it still, because all I see is Venus and God. Well, 27 is Venus and God. God goes like this, and he's God, and he goes like this, and he's Venus. So he's both 17 and 27, the 1 and 2 spirit of the heavens. But together, in number 3, he creates a 3 that either becomes the angle of the connection to heaven angel or and the man on earth. Don't forget, when God creates the 1, 6, the 3, 4, I'm not sure if that's recreated as the angle, or the 2, 5 is the angle, and the 3, 4 would be upon his death. He becomes recreated. Instead of a 6 black and roulette, he becomes a 3 red. And then God 1, Beta God 2, and his child is now number 3. That's it. There's no 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 1, 2, 3, ABC, just the way Michael Jackson sang it. The Jackson 5s. ABC, 5 in the center, over ABC. Just the way creation happened to be. Isn't it so funny the way the Jackson 5s happens to be directly in the words of creation? It's like they already knew, at least for me, because I see it. I see it within. So for me, the Jackson 5s went to God. Came to Michael Jackson and say, "Hey, bud, how old are you?" And Michael Jackson said, "I'm 5. He goes, "Well, you're going to make a big hit. You're going to sing the song ABC, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to call yourself the Jackson 5s. And Michael goes, "Wow, cool, man." And the rest of the guys go, "Jackson 5? So corny." And singing about the ABC? Well, what's more special than to sing the ABC to your children? Why do you think God got us to sing his name to him every single day at school? Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, how are you today? Come on, everybody, let's come out and play. Throw the dice and play the games, and let's see all the fame you get. It's time to go. You've wet your bed. All is said, all is done. We've had our game, we've had our fun, and now it's time to return. But where do we return to? Well, like any kind of B or B letter, Beta, Beta's got 2 bellies on it, like the snowman. So you lived in one of her bellies down on Earth. Now you're going to live in the other belly of Delta, of Beta, up in heaven. God is Alpha, Gamma. Okay, Delta is the home of play, or Beta is the home of play. That's why the Beta, the B, has 2 D's in it. Because in this world, we're going to get an angel and we're going to get a man. Now the question is this angel in this world? And when you leave, your 2 of you. Okay, and then you come together because you were always together down here. So the bottom part of the B makes the top part of the B. Because if I take the B and turn it this way, okay, I have Delta, and on the other side, I have the face of man. Okay, now these 2 in life, when you come back up to here, is there only 1 B? Or this one on this side is the top, and then this one on this side is the bottom part of the B. That's how they play. No matter how the B turns, they never get to come together, and they always turn with each other because they're both in the belly of the whale, Big Beta. Okay, so when they come out of Big Beta, which numbers do they use? Do they go back to the 2 position? Because if you really take a look at the cards, the 2 card is only used once. It's only used for a dot on top and a dot on the bottom, and it never really enters the game. It's not until you get to the secondary level of beta in which she starts to enter the game of play inside the numbers. You take a look at the 2 card, how high it is, compared to the 7 and 8 card, how much lower it is. Okay? And you never see 3 images in a row in the cards. One of the reasons for that is because once there's 2 outside ones, automatically it's going to connect. It's either connect to the one down below or back to the center. They each, you see, when 1 is across from 3, right, the in-between is 2. 1 is black, 1 is black. But you can't bet those 2 blacks together on roulette. You have to bet either all 3 numbers or just a chip individual. So if you put all 3 numbers, you'll put a chip for 3 numbers, 1 for 3, and then you'll put a chip if you want on the single ones, 1 and 1, 2 chips for 2 properties, 1 for 1. The other one's 1 chip for 3 properties. Although you get less, the odds on the payout in roulette will tell you how creation comes about. I did not tell you because, like I said, a lot of my work lately has been incredible. I have been getting little itsy-bitsy pieces of knowledge, and for some reason you can't explain it because there's more than one explanation. See the hourglass standing up here? It's only there because it takes the design of this one being over here. The only way to divide them the right way is this way. Now, one of the reasons for the hourglass, okay, this is one of the reasons for the hourglass. I'm going to try and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Okay, just like the Hitler sign and the hourglass, what this actually does is it leaves a little piece of an angle here that looks like a fish in each corner. Now, the reason it's made like this and it's not made like this and this are the same thing. Okay, here's the center. Here's one end of the stick. Here's the other end of the stick. This would be 1, and this would be 7. In between, from 1 and 7, would be the 4. 1 is between 1 and 7. 1 to 4 is 3, and 7 to 4 is 3. Okay, now, the other thing about this is the point here is 1. The center point in between the 2 is 1, and the one over here is 1. So you have your 3 marks, and there's no marks at all. There's no this board, but it's the same thing. It's how the shape is designed. This one over here is the same thing. The reason we have this shape is because now we're showing you combinations. This one over here and this one over here would be 7, 8, 9. This one would be 9, 6, 3, and this one would be 3, 2, 1. So these are your combinations. So this, in order to do this, okay, I needed only a triangle to show me this. So now we have one of the reasons how 7, 8, and 9 came together. Because it came together from drawing a square. Came together from drawing a square. So anyways, now you have 7. Across from 7, you have 9. Across from 9, this is the birth of 9, and this is 7 of the 7 worlds. Why the 7 worlds? Because 7, okay, is the 2 and 5 on the card. 8 is the heaven, 9 is the birth. But why the 7 and 7 worlds of the 9 birth? Because either we count 2 and 8, or we count 4 and 6. The angel world of Beta, or the 4 angle of the 6 man. 4 angle of the 6 mans means there's 2 dots in between the other dots. That's what it means. It's the in-between of alpha. Okay? Between 1 and 3 is 2. That's the result of the in-between of alpha. It's still alpha God. This is just the in-between. What he creates in between. Then between 3 and 9 is the 6. That's the 6 between 3 and 9, both spirits of alpha. It's still alpha. Then between 9 and 7 is 8. It's still alpha. It's between his 2 worlds, his world of birth and his world of creation into the 8th passage. And then from 7 to 1 is 4. And that's another part of alpha. It's just one between. Now, when you go to the dot, okay, in the center, it's God says, I am the center of 1 to 9. I am 5 of 1 to 9. So he is 5 of 1 to 9. At the same time, he is God, and at the same time, he is the center, the love hole, the passage. So that passage, because everything passes in 0, doesn't everything pass in 0? Does 1 pass in 0? Well, since all the shapes go into 1, okay, I'm just going to draw it if I could. Since all the shapes draw into 1, and this is the 0, this is the 8 ball. When you go play pool, all the numbers fit into the 8 ball. That's why the 8 ball is black, and that's why it's the end of the game. You've already made all the numbers. When you come up to make the 8 ball, it means I've made all the numbers. Because the 8 ball, okay, is a representation of 1 to 7, right? 7 balls. Or it's a representation from 9 to 15, 7 balls. 7.7. Seven dot seven is the 8. 007, 007. Hey, my mouse disappeared. Yeah, oh, you're back. You know what? That 8 thing I just showed you, I just saw that right now for the first time. But a lot of things are coincidences, and a lot of things start to become coincidences, and a lot of things that are coincidence are so true that their coincidence is like almost a polished plan by God. God made it so perfect that we couldn't even tell, because to us, who know not much more than what? It's a coincidence. When you get to something else on my next cassette, this is number 998. I thank you and appreciate for those people who have watched. 10,000 viewers in a little bit of over a year and a half. But it's understandable. The work is less than performance, if you want to know. Now, this one was not bad, but for some reason, as I start to look back, everything is starting to diminish of what I did, and it seems like I must go on to the next. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. I wish you all a good day and continuous to sleep this night. Only think that the night brings on the dreams, regardless of what the dreams are all about. They are the dreams of the good Lord that brought us the thought upon the mind to give us a notion of how we should think, bringing us to the also notion that it is our fate for whatever our dreams may be. You can change things. This may be streamed, right? But within 7 seconds, you have time to change everything. Isn't that what streaming is? 7 seconds. You have 7 seconds to fix your fate. And one of the reasons for that, and basically my hypothesis on why you have 7 seconds or 8 seconds, because apparently from an old girlfriend that went out with, her name is Diane. I wish I knew where she was. I'd like to talk to her. I wasn't very nice to her a long time ago. I'd just like to tell her I'm sorry. It wasn't really that bad, but for me it's everything when it's bad at all. So what were we talking about? The fate. So you have 7 and 8 seconds from a sneeze. Okay. Another thing to the confirming a point of this is Final Fantasy. She was able to change the fate. So therefore, there is a streamlined open window of about 7 or 8 seconds. If she was able to do it in the movie, then automatically, because once fate is there, if you can't change it, well, you have 7 seconds by the time you start thinking of something that's wrong to the time you do your action. Just before you do your action, you have 7 seconds in there to stop yourself before you go on. I know it's a little weird, but a lot of things I do is weird. Would you say that's an O, right? Looks sort of like a starfish. That center cut is the cut of 4 and 6. If you take a good look at it, okay, I have 2 on both sides on the top and 8 on both sides of the center. The reason I have that is because what's actually working is the center. We're bringing everything to the center. See where it says 90-degree angle? That's the birth. Anyways, that's not what I came to tell you. An X and an O. That's what it is. The X is the 24th letter. The O is the 15th letter. The total, 39, means 10 perfect. It equals to 4 and 6. Do you follow me? The number 39, 10 equals to 4 and 6. It means to 2 and 8. It means to the 10-10 world. Because the number 10 is a 39 letter count. 3 centers, 2, 5 equals 7. 1 center, 6. The center is 7, 6, 7. I'm going to show you why. Show you why in a second. Are you ready? Are you with me? You're still here? Where is it? Right here. 2, 5 makes 7. 5, 2 makes 7. Why is it like that? Oh, can I find the right card? Can I find the right card? Can I find the right card? No, I didn't find it, but I found this one. This is the reason. This is the 2, 5 over here. See, there's 2 over here, 1 and 3. Take those 2 away, and this one becomes the 2. When you see the 2 card, it's because alpha, okay, which is the one in the center from the ace, split apart, and he went on this side and this side, 4 and 6. Instead of him being Jupiter, okay, God splits himself up to between Mars and Saturn. He sits in the center over here. In this case, he sits in the center over here, and he becomes this, 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 and this. At the same time he becomes that, this is the 2, okay? The card gets turned on this angle, and then you have 3 parts of 6 and the 2 beta on the bottom. 2 beta, 5 alpha, 2 beta. All the cards. The 8 card is 5 alpha and 3 beta. The 9 card, okay, is 1 alpha, okay, and the 4 angle of the 4 angle of the 8 heaven. Almost made a mistake there. Anyways, it's hard to sit here and just plug away at certain things. There was more to this than that. When you say alpha omega, okay, this going around this is an alpha. This going around this is an alpha. And it creates the omega because the line goes in, the line goes up, the line goes down. Omega also is the letter O. So that means God, omega being the letter O, O is the 15th letter. In pool, there's 15 gods. God is alpha omega. And pool, it works out pretty good because it ends at 15, right? God's alpha omega? Wrong. You forgot about the cue ball, the 16th ball. That's the one spirit. That's the O ball. That's the one spirit. There's 16 balls, one spirit of the 6 islands. So that cue ball, who is the one spirit of the 6 islands, right? Total 7. And how many balls do you have in stripes total? 7. And how many do you have in solids? You have 9. But you only use 7 to start with. 1 to 7. The cue ball and the 8 ball, well, the cue ball is first and the 8 ball is last. Alpha omega, is it alpha omega? Alpha omega. Since the omega ball is in the game, and omega would be the 8 ball, the end ball, omega is the O plus the 8 ball, all in one. 8 and O is 23, number 23, all in the 8 ball of pool. Alpha omega. So you got to play with the pool ball things. I started this thing with my hand before, and I got out from it. So I'll finish with the pool balls. So the cue ball can be noted as a 0 ball, or it can be noted as the 16th ball. 0 or 16. Irregardless, there are still 16 balls on the table, and they're put in the rack as 4, 4, 4, 4. They make an L angle on the rack for gamma when you put the balls in. You can put them in this way first or this way first. It doesn't matter which way you take the pool rack and put it in. In fact, it doesn't matter which way you turn the triangle as long as the point is towards the beginning of the game. for the pool balls. So the pool is, again, another game showing you the creation of whatever totals the one spirit of the sixth man. 7 islands, the 6 islands in one, the 6 islands in one, 7 and 7, plus the 8 ball. You knock in the 8 ball, you get to touch the 2 heavens and you're alive. If you play for stripes, you're on earth. If you play for solids, well, you're an angel in heaven. And it's the 2 angels just looking to see which one's going to win which world. It's like me going up there and playing and going, "No, don't fall! I'm going to Earth. I don't want to go to Earth." Well, the opposite of Earth is hell. Wait a second. The opposite on Earth is hell, not the opposite of Earth. The opposites on Earth are hell. Good is good on Earth. What's not good is hell. Because in heaven, there's no hell. They didn't eat the forbidden fruit in heaven. There is no Adam and Eve in heaven. Adam and Eve had to leave. His name was Steve. He didn't believe, but he took the chance anyways and ate the magic leaf that put him into a destiny of death. Forever you shall see death. That's okay. That's fine. Come in the door. Death, yes. How you doing? You're my friend. This is what death is all about. To die, to be dead, to no longer be here. It's only the evil side of you that will be able to see it. But the good side of you knows there's a heaven. It only knows death is what the evil side is all about. But there's no death for a good person. There's only a departing and an arriving. But it's pretty scary not to know and to leave all these people here. Well, we all have to move out. I mean, as a child, you surprised them when you came into the world. I mean, once you come into the world, your mother doesn't know what the who the F you are. Your mother sees a baby, she takes care of the baby. Your mother don't know who you are. At 5 years old, you're doing all kinds of stupid things. But at 25 years old, you're doing even more stupid things. But at 25 years old, they now tell you you have to run by the laws. But when you're a little child, you have to run by the laws. But who the hell knows? Hey, kid, stop doing that. 2 minutes later, he's doing the same thing. Hey, kid, stop doing that. 2 minutes later, he's doing the same thing. The only way to stop him is give him a big baseball bat in the head. Hey, kid, why don't you get up? Hey, kid. Hey, kid, it was good what you were doing before. Too late, sir. You hit him with a baseball bat. He ain't getting up again. So it's a one shot, one deal, one life we have over here. Come on and let's get things done. Raphael 7286. We must stand up next to our neighbor in liberty. We must stand up next to our neighbor regardless of the sex, regardless of the color, regardless of the religion. We must stand next to our neighbor. We must stand next to our neighbor in the honor of the God creator who let us have the life to come here. There are those powers and energies that will force us and force it away. But if you remember what it says in some parts of the Bible, when those who love love, the energy strikes so hard, the evil seems to fall apart and find a never, ever, ever ending road of wrong decisions. As for the good, the road is long and never ends, and the decisions are all yours. If you want to stay on the path, I guess you shall choose right from wrong. You shall choose to the right and to the left. We are born to God's left, and God is to our right. It must be that way. God was to our left. God was to our right, because to the right goes over the Middle East. I'm the Middle East. To one side, to the other. One side to the other. I am the Middle East. M-E, me. Eastern migration. Do you really know what Middle East stands for? M is a breakdown Roman numeral of 1 for 1. 1 for you and 1 for me. That's the Roman numeral breakdown. 1 for 1. But in all actuality, it's a 1, 5 for 1, because the V is the 5. But when the V splits, it says a 1, right? For a 1, this is the letter M. You can put this together. It's 151. But if you say 1 stick, and the V is in between, meaning the difference, for the other stick, meaning 1 for 1. The total here is 7. Now, where am I on this? I have no idea. Just that God is the... Since God, right, has all 9, I'll say since God is center and he has everything, what he does is he breaks up his totality at 10. Then there's 5 on the bottom and 5 on top. Because even if God is 10, he is 5. 1, 3, 7, 9. God is 5, and then 2, 4, 6, 8, he is in between. This will make a V, and this will make a V. So then it separates God's world of 10 and connects it together as 2 legs and 2 arms. And he can split it as 3, 9. He can split it as 7, 9. He puts it together and connects it as 7 and 3. He connects it together as 1 over here and 9 over here. And he can split this world up into beta. So he's actually 5. Like I said, 2 on the outside equal to the 1 on the inside. 1 on the middle equals to the 2 on the outside. And 7 and 9 on the outside equals to the 1 in the center. So they're basically even over here. And if you really take a look at this, okay, the totality of this is 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. That means you're playing the center here would be not 5, but would be 5 and 6. Because the center has to be the total number of the equation dots put together. There's 5 dots. And the center dot is the 5th dot, but it could be used as the 3rd dot, but it doesn't really matter because it's 3 dots up top and it's 3 dots at the bottom. It equals 6 because the center dot must be counted twice, 1 for the top and 1 for the bottom. I didn't say this wasn't going to be complicated. Okay, so we got 1, 3, 5 and 7, 5, 9. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 5, 9, you would have a 6. Okay, so we've done that. So many more things. I mean, even that Mayan count, I mean, I don't know if I've ever showed you this. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 4 angle of heaven and the 4 angle of heaven. Okay, when they connect, okay, this is the long. The book should only be here, right? But in God's life, he's 1, 2, 3, ABC. He's like this, and he's like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then he just turns it, and he takes up the total amount of space from this, rather than taking it up from a square, which would take up so much less space. Hey, wouldn't this take up, look how much space it takes up. But if I only had something this big and turned, it wouldn't really take up the extra space. It wouldn't give it the distance. God needs the distance from here to here and from here to here to create his one world in between. So his one world in between ends up to be a square on this side and a square on this side. And then the whole world is like that. So he plays from the center, and that's why the center image is just a duplication. Raphael 7286, the constellation of Pegasus. We still didn't do the fingers and pinkies yet, in case you still stood here. Here's the thumb of your right hand, okay? But we're going to take the thumb and the pinky, so it'd be 1 and 5, the one spirit of the 5 angle, and that is man 6. And that is one spirit of 5 angle, and that is God. And at the same time, the 5 angle, okay, at the same time, it's also the 7 angle. Okay, I'm going to show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 and 5. Now look, there's only 3 in the center left. These are the 3 of creation. Finger 2, finger 3, finger 2, 2, 3, 2. Why is this 2, 3, 2 in the center? because this is first, or this one could be first. So this would be 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 1. Do you want to know why the Illuminatis have May 120? May 1st of the Illuminatis is the 121st day of the year. This year it was the 122nd day. The 121st day is 11 times 11. The 122nd day is 11 times 11 plus the 1 spirit. Okay? So anyways, this would be 1, 2, 1, the 121st day. This would say May. Okay? So we go 1, 2, 1, 2. This is number 2 and this is number 2. So the forefinger and the, not the ring finger, but the second from the pinky is 2 and 2. This one is number 3, creation. Number 3 goes to this side and to this side. Okay. This is the 1 thumb, the forefinger and 3. This is the 1 pinky. Okay. It's also better known as the 5th finger on the hand. So this is 3 and 5, and this is 1 and 3. 1 and 3, and 3 and 5, because number 5, the pinky, ends up turning into God's passage. Wow. So you're going to actually say, well, what does that mean? Well, I don't know how to read hands or palms or anything, so I'm not quite sure. Another thing is, I'm sitting up and I really didn't pre-do this. It's something that's not pre-done in my head. So anyways, if you want to know about the center finger, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's 3 from anything. It's the Christ. It's the biggest finger on your hand. It's also the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's the 3rd and 8th finger. It represents the heavens. It's also a connection to the pig. But what's so good about this connection to the pig? When you rub his nose, this one doesn't go in the hole. These 2 fingers can go in the pig's hole when you're coming from the back, but not this one, unless you pick it up on the side. But the way it's arranged, okay. Also in bowling, in fact, I had a bowling dream last night. Normally use these 3 fingers in bowling. 1, 3, 4. Okay, not 1, 2, 3. Can't. You have to use 1, 3, 4 because you have to use the angle, and it's that last finger, okay, that gives the last shift to the ball. Your last thing apparently comes out of the ball in this, in fingertip bowling. Okay, the last shift to the ball. This is the 4th finger or the 7th finger. Remember I told you about Christ? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 and 4, the same finger. Or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 and 8 and 7 and 4. 7 in the heaven or 7 in the Christ angle. So the 8 and the 4 are the same thing. It's just instead of 4, now it's 2 worlds and they're 8. So it's not that difficult. 7 and 8, which means September and October seem to connect the 2 heavens together, because the 7 and the 8 card put an additional 7 in onto the 8 card. I know I said a lot of good. I know I was, but what does it really mean, anything that I say? Not much more than this picture. You know, when you look at the picture and you understand what's going on, it means something. But what's good about this picture is when you turn it around, it's 2 8s laughing at each other. 1 eye on this side, 1 eye on this side, and there's a guy in the center that was created from 2 jokers. It seems like it's the man in the middle. Venus is your mind, Jupiter is your heart, and Neptune is your sexual organs. Okay, they create this man in between. But where is this man actually? Okay, see the half moon on the corner? See the hair from the horse's hair? We're definitely connected to all kinds of animals, and there's a whole lot of smart people out there. I just don't read enough to know who's already written what I've said. Although it's all original what I do. I usually don't practice. What? You don't practice? It shows. Practice. What needs practice? I'm trial and error. I'm a continuous ever-ready generator. Trial and error. If it don't work, sometimes they think it works, and 10 minutes later I go, holy shit, it don't work no more. Worked at the beginning. It was good to start with. That's why I usually don't go over any of my work. I just see it and believe it worked then. I put it away and tell everybody it's good stuff. Very good stuff. We're going to give a video rating now. I'm going to give you a chance to rate this video if you've watched the whole thing before me. Somebody told me the other day that if your videos get liked and watched often enough, you make yourself a couple of $1,000s a month. But I told him, I said like this to him. I says, listen to this last part of my video. What? Listen to the last part of the video? Here comes the rating, guys. Okay. Quality of knowledge inside the little bit that wasn't so difficult. Very good. Explanation of the quality of the knowledge. Not bad. The rest of this video sucks. But those who watch, if this video sucks and you've made it to here, then it's not my video that sucks. It's your will and your want to grasp the next thought of another out of a book. It shows your integrity. You are way, way stronger and better than I am than to knock down my work. But I have no choice, because up the clock I go. Eensy weensy spider, up the spout I go. Hushy, hushy, we all fall down. I get up off the ground and go. You give me any terrible situation, and I'm just going to try and turn it into a good situation, because isn't that what life's all about? We want to turn into things happy and fun. Well, when you're not having fun and you're not happy, you have to look for a way to be happy, even what? The only thing that can be worse is taking of our lives, and then you wouldn't have to figure out any problems. So you have to find out the worst thing is, the worst thing for me is having a child or a family member suffer that you know of. The best thing is let it happen fast. But I've been injured before, and I believe in God, so it's really not so bad. The only thing I'd say, if I left, I'd probably save a whole lot of trouble for people watching my videos that think it sucks. Probably save them a whole lot of time. Guy watches my 20-second video, okay, in 4 days. And he comes on, he leaves me a comment. He says, man, he says, you suck. I went back later. He says, I said, you watched 25 videos of mine. I know a minute ago it was 22. I said, you watched 25 videos of mine in the last 3 days. He says, why do I suck? He says, you're addictive, man. He says, you make no sense. You tell absolutely, basically, really no story. But it's hard to stop watching because it all seems like there is a story. But anyways, at the beginning of this tape, I wanted to show you something. This one here is the value of here. This one here is the value of here. And this is the in-between. This one here and this one here will have the same number. This one here will have the value of these two numbers. And this one will have the same value as this number, but this value will be between these numbers. Then when you start putting it all towards the center and you get your sun, like, do you think the rays of the sun are just rays? Yes, they're rays of sun. But if you ever take a look, okay, sometimes one of the rays is a little bent. Not too much. Do you know why? Because they're all like X's like that. So it'll be like this. It'll be all in formation. If one of them moves, they all move. That's why we really can't say. We say, only the rays of the sun. No. It's open electrical current. What we sometimes we think we see, we know. What others say, they say because they know, we believe they know, is not even true, more or less, than the departure from where they went. If I don't put these two Y's on here, you don't know where the other thing is on the other side, right? You see I have one round, look at the other round. We seem to be missing the difference in the middle. You know what I'm saying? This one holds it up straight. Would this be a good tongue? Okay, that's it. I'm acting silly. I'm acting silly. Acting silly. There's so many things because I see things that I don't say. Here's another thing. Nine and six? No, it's not a 9 and 6. It's the letter C, L, and an O, and it's L. Laugh out loud. At the same time you laugh out loud, you get number 3, 7, 3, 5, and 7. 5, 3. You see, one of the things is like this. 5 really doesn't count. Okay, what it is, 5 is a passage. You see the way you make the passage here? From here down to here, you make the passage around the 5. The reason you do that, it creates the box. Okay, there's lines that pass through this box this way, and there's lines that don't. There's lines you just follow the passage. Now this will curve one here, and then if it went to this angle, it'll do the same thing here and the same thing here. And if you really take a look at it, okay, I'm going to try and show you. See the number 2 in here? I made it long. It's supposed to only go from here, okay? But I had to elongate it. The 2 is in there, and then on the other side of the paper is supposed to be the 5 somewhere. Let me see. Right here. You see this number 5? Okay, is the number 2 on this side of the paper. Yeah, so I'm just showing you a little bits of it. You know, 1 to 7, 0, 8, 9 to 15. So in pool, the spirit of 76 is the 7 ball and the 15 ball, 7 and 6. The American flag. And I'm just telling you one thing. Okay, in my mind, it is so true. It is so true that somebody created all this stuff to work out perfect. Is it possible that I was able to create definitions that go with each number? Yes, it's 100% possible. Is it possible that I can take the letter M, which is really the letter for love, or alpha omega, which is the first and the 15th letter? Alpha, omega. Omega is an egg. 1 and 15. 1 plus 15 equals 16. How many balls in pool? 16. Plus, there's a table, there's holes, there's that triangular rack, plus there's one where you can place your stick so you can get a better direct hit. It's already got the angles laid out for you. So intelligent, this God, eh? So intelligent, insane. And I keep bumping into numbers that tell me that Christ seems to be the God of this world. But then why do the Jewish people go to Hashem? What is it? Well, I believe that God gave his son, Jesus Christ, his own world. And God is the real God, but we should pray to his son as well as we pray to God, because this is his world to run. It seems like God sets up ant farms and puts different gods for each one to take care of. Why doesn't he take care of it himself? I want to ask you a question. How many jobs can you take on before you have to let your sons work for you? How big is this kingdom of God going to get in this world? It might be so scary because guess what? What am I doing? I'm shaking that snow thing with it. You know when you shake it, the snow falls? And then life begins. Because that's what was freezing in hell is now life falling to ground. The snowflake. The snowflake that everybody says has so many shapes and never one design. But they're all basically wrong. Anyways, before we go, I just want to tell you one thing. Jack and Spirit would be Jupiter and Saturn. Jack, Spirit, and Man, okay, would be Mercury and Mars. Mercury and Mars, okay, is a black and red 1 and 4, total of 5. That is God. Okay, that is God. M and M is 44 is God. J, okay, is also God, and he's transferred from Mercury and Mars over to Jupiter, while Man is on Earth, and Saturn is the spirit. And that says Jess. or suggestion. It's very, because in here it shows me again there's a chance we're on Earth. Because, but we have to be close to God. And if God ends up to be playing his role from Jupiter with Mercury and Mars, that's why Venus doesn't need any moons. Okay, Mercury and Venus, I'm almost quite sure, get their moons from Mars. Now, if you turn the Rubik's Cube the other way, okay, Mercury would end up getting its moons from Earth. But this is triangular movement. Why triangular movement? Because I only got 3 planets in a row over here. If I had to have 4 planets, we'd have to add Mars to it. But Mercury and Venus would take Earth one's moon, and Mars would do the moons for with Mars with 2 moons. Mars has 2 moons because 1 Venus and 2 Venus and Mars, okay, 2 and 4 have to come into this world here, okay. Mars has to bring in not only Mercury, which has no moon, but also Venus, which has no moon. Mars has no dot. 4 corners, no dot. How do you bring in Mercury with no dot? So your question goes like this. When you turn Rubik's Cube this way, right, the planets would be M-U-M, Uranus. 1 and 7 creating the 4. 4 brings in the spirit and man's spirit, the 7. So again, we're back to J, Jupiter for Jack, S, spirit for Saturn, E for Earth. So we have to bring in the 1 spirit would be Mercury, Jupiter, and Pluto. Do you know what that spells? Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn. Pajamas, PJS, pajamas. So we have to have, again, the moons of Mercury. Mercury has no moon, so it goes with Mars. Venus has no moon, so it goes with Earth. Or we can do it a little bit differently. At the same time, okay, when you put 1, 2, 3, 4 together, okay, or 1, 2, 3, 6 together, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 on 1, 2, 3, Earth would carry the moons of Venus and Mercury. But how come only 1 moon on Earth? Well, because it's on the same line as creation, ABC. Mercury is the creation of Earth, and Beta is part of Mercury and is only created by part of Earth. If Earth isn't created, then 2 wouldn't be created. So now if we went the other way, we go Mercury, okay, would be across from Mars. And now there's 2. So listen to this. Mercury 0 moons, Mars 2 together. Earth with Venus and Mars and Mercury, Earth 1 moon, Mercury and Venus no moons. So there'd be 2 planets with no moons and 1 with a moon. There'd be 1 planet with 2 moons and then 1 with no moon. So it's 2, 1, and 1, 2. So there is a combination to this. There's definitely the combination. So we'd have to do the whole thing. So to do the same thing from the bottom, you would have to go Pluto and Neptune, the moons of Pluto and Neptune. Let me see this. Yes, Pluto. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, wow, it's almost an hour. This is insane. So we have to get this done anyways. Pluto and Neptune ride on the moons, okay, or along with the moons of Uranus. Now, Uranus and Mars moons connect together, and then Mars connects to the Jupiter moon, and Jupiter connects to the Spirit moon. Earth connects to Saturn moons, and Pluto connects, well, excuse me, when you come to not the same row, okay, Earth Don't forget, it's not the same. It's not the same thing going 1, 4, 7, 3, 6, 9 as going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not the same thing. There is a difference, but yet both calculations are made because we want to know everything that we could do and everything that we have done, and then everything that we haven't done is still there, not because it can't be done, because it's empty space, because other things are in its way and it can no longer move. Sometimes we just need empty space so we can move in it. Sometimes when you get a little space, you get a little freedom, right? Mother, I need a little space. Go to your room, go in the corner. We need a little space. We need a little freedom. So as I talk, I start to learn the same way as who you are and I am. And that is what is. And thank you very much. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. Just want to see if I can, there you go. Camera won't straighten out. There you go. Okay, that's the end. Be well, my friends.